Our case is Dred Scott versus Sandford.
Dred Scott was a slave in Missouri from 1833 to 1843. He resigned in Illinois, which was a free state, and in Louisiana Territory, where slavery was forbidden by the Missouri Compromise of 1820.
This image further lays out and explains the details of the case.
After returning to Missouri, Scott filed a lawsuit in Missouri court for his freedom, claiming that his residence in a free territory made him a free man. After losing, Scott brought a new lawsuit in federal court. Scott's master said that no descendants of slaves could be citizens in the sense of Article 3 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court ruled that Americans of African descent, whether free or slave, were not American citizens and could not be sued in federal court. The court also ruled that Congress lacked power to ban slavery in U.S. territories.
It was a 7-2 decision for Sandford, and Taney ruled that the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional and that slaves were property under the Fifth Amendment.
The Fifth Amendment includes no double jeopardy, pleading the Fifth to protect against self-incrimination, the right to a grand jury, and it also mandates the due process of law.
Taney said that any law that deprived a slave owner of that property was unconstitutional, and moving to a free state didn't render Scott emancipated. Because the court lacked jurisdiction, Taney dismissed the case on procedural grounds. Chief Justice Taney said the framers were high in literary acquirements, high in their sense of honor, and incapable of asserting principles inconsistent with those on which they were acting. The dissenting opinion was Benjamin Robus Curtis, who criticized Taney for adjusting the claim substance after finding the court lacked jurisdiction and pointed out that invalidating the Missouri Compromise was not necessary to resolve the case. John McLean also was part of the dissenting opinion and found that the majority improperly reviewed the claim substance and argued that the men of African descent could be citizens because they already had the right to vote in 5 states. Justice McLean said, where no slavery exists, the presumption, without regard to color, is in favor of freedom.
Today, the Dred Scott case is viewed as a gross miscarriage of justice, but the decision immediately spurred strong feelings of dissent from the anti-slavery elements in the North and proved to be an indirect catalyst for the American Civil War.
The constitutional principle in this case is individual rights, because Dred Scott practiced individual rights when he took his case to court, but he ended up having them taken away. The analogous cases for the Dred Scott case include Strader v. Graham and Commonwealth v. Jennison. Strader v. Graham is about the status of 3 slaves who went from Kentucky to Indiana and Ohio and depended on Kentucky law rather than Ohio law. Commonwealth v. Jennison is a court case in Massachusetts in 1783, which effectively abolished slavery in that state.